Wolves have had a stinker of a start to the Premier League season, and at the time of recording sit dead last in the Premier League standings. And with so many holes in their squad, they face an uphill battle if they don't get their act together soon. So today I'm taking over and saving this staple of the Premier League from relegation. Let's rebuild Wolverhampton. So here is the default starting 11 that we have been given in FC 25 with Wolverhampton. First things first, I'm changing up the formation, putting my own spin on things, and I want to hit the transfer window straight away here. I want to fill the holes. I think they're missing Max Kilman desperately in the back line, along with numerous other positions. Let's get to work. Like I said though, centre back is my #1 priority here. We are going to replace Maximilian Kilman, and the man we have elected to do it with is the Spaniard Eric Garcia, who we get on a very reasonable deal from Barcelona. The former Man City youngster joining us for 16.7 mil. Well, that is just the start of our business. A big departure. I want to get a young, fresh guy at right back. So Nelson Semedo, he's been here for a hot minute, but he departs for Newcastle. And Jean Ricna Belagade heading to Crystal Palace for 6.5 mil. I had to keep the Portuguese tradition, basically the meme, alive. We lose a Portuguese defender in Nelson Semedo, but we replace him with a young Portuguese defender in Thiago Santos. The right back signing on from Lille for 20 mil. And Gonçalo Guedes heading to Italy, heading to Atalanta for 11 mil. Couple loan moves about to happen here though. Enzo Gonzalez heading to Norwich for the year. But whilst we wait for the other loan moves to go through, we are going to make our biggest signing of the season. I'm actually pumped about this one. I wanted a marquee attacking midfielder, and that is exactly what we are going to do. Enzo Milo, the Frenchman with the crazy ass hair, that afro, is going to be joining us from Stuttgart. We've spent big, but I expect big things. £25.5 million. But now the other loan moves starting to go through. We have got Rodrigo Gomes heading to Marseille, and the Brazilian defender Pedro Lima to Besiktas for the season. I should also point out, I have been training Cunha to become an attacking midfielder. I think he's going to be very useful for us there. It's taken 4 weeks, but we can finally make it happen. Cunha goes up to an 80 when we do that. You love to see it. So it's been a busy start to life here at Wolverhampton. This is the formation I'm going to be rocking with this season, a 4-2-2-2 formation. I wanted to utilize the defensive midfielders in our squad whilst also getting the strike. I just wanted to utilize the players we had on hand. And I think what we have here is a very, very balanced squad. All players in the starting 11 in a 3-point range between 77 and 80. And I'm super curious to see where we're sitting come January 1st. Let's see if we are out of the relegation zone on January 1st. We are in a position I think all Wolves fans would dream of being in halfway through the season. We sit 9th right now in the Premier League on 28 points. And the nice thing is there is a massive jump when you get down to 13th, 14th, 10 points between us. I mean, Brentford are in the relegation zone. We are 13 points clear of Brentford in the relegation zone right now, which is a very strong position for us to be in. I mean, we need to be thinking more about maybe getting ourselves Conference League or Europa League. We're only 6 points out of the top 4. This is exciting. And I will say, Hwang Hee-chan is a key part of this, currently sitting 15th in the Golden Boot race with 8 goals. Unfortunately though, Craig Dawson has submitted a transfer request. It makes sense, so I'm probably going to keep business pretty simple in this January window, but I will look to move him on. We're not going to get too much out of it, but I'll accept both these offers from Everton and from Brighton. And there it is. Craig Dawson is out of here. He heads permanently to Everton for £2 million. And I'm going to invest some money into a young backup goalkeeper because we've got 5 goalkeepers in the squad, but all of them are over the age of 30. So I think it's not a bad shout for us to sign this guy, Pascal Loretz. He's 72 overall, 21-year-old Swiss goalkeeper. We're going to pick him up here, and I'm immediately going to throw him on the loan list, looking for a short loan move, because he could very well and truly be a successor to Sam Johnson and Jose Sarr down the line. Short loan move here for Boubacar Traore, and we got one over the line pretty quickly for Pascal Loretz. He's going to be off in France at Stade Brestois for 2 years. We've dropped off a little in the second half of the season, but it's okay. The goal was to survive relegation, and we have done that comfortably. 16 points ahead of Leicester City, who go down alongside Bournemouth and Ipswich. I mean, we were in that logjam for European football, but the top side started to break away. Premier League champions this year with just one loss are Manchester City. you got to feel bad for Arsenal. They lose just 3 games all year, get 91 points, and still finish 6 short of City. We made and lost the FA Cup final. Oh my, it's not even like we lost to one of the juggernauts. We lost to Crystal Palace. That is a kick in the nuts. We could have got our first piece of silverware in season 1 at Wolverhampton. We could have qualified for the Europa League. Oh my God, losing to Palace hurts. I mean, we beat Spurs in the semi-final, Sunderland in the quarters, but my God. Man United win the Carabao Cup. We made it to the round of 16 there. Real Madrid win the Champions League. Ajax the Europa. And the Cypriot team, Cyprus's Apoel, winning the Conference League. Hwang Hee-chan finishing as the Golden Boot winner at the club here. 15 goals, 7 assists. Larson had a great season on loan. Could potentially bring him back next year, but if I go for another striker, it'll probably be an even bigger upgrade. Cunha up to an 82 overall at his first year as an attacking midfielder, 18 goal contributions. We've had a really good year this year. Lamina, 7 assists. Enzo Milot up to an 81. I'm excited about the future. But of course, we are just losing the one player here at the end of the season. Everybody else's contract has been renewed, so Larson, a great year, but I think I'm going to lean with him heading back to Celta Vigo. I think there are 2 priorities for this season to start off with. Big transfers, and we're going to make the first one right now. We lose Larson. Hwang Hee-chan is not getting any younger. I think it's time for us to get a top quality striker prospect. Somebody that comes in and is already an upgrade, but is still so young in their journey, which is where the Frenchman Hugo Ekitike is going to come in. He is currently killing it for Eintracht Frankfurt. I can see a big summer move, big January move coming for him in a couple months' time. But for now, in this universe, he is a Wolverhampton Wanderer. We pay 30 mil for him. First player departure, though, is a loan move. It is Rodrigo Gomes heading off for 2 years now. And this is a site that I'm sure some Wolves fans might not be too happy about, but I'm actually intending on selling both of our starting goalkeepers. I want someone young. I want someone that is going to be a superstar. Not Sasha Kalasic, he's heading off as well. Enzo Gonzalez, this is a busy day. There we go, finally get the cutscene I'm looking at. Jose Sarr heading to Roma for 8 mil. Just quickly though, on Sasha Kalasic, I didn't necessarily want to sell him. I wanted to keep him. He's 6'7". He is a super sub to the extreme. I tried to offer him a rotational first team contract. He didn't want that, so I thought it's better just to cut ways with him right now. And there it is. Both of our starting keepers gone. Sam Johnson also out of the club. Pedro Lima off on a loan for the year. But Johnson heads to Bournemouth for just shy of 8 mil. And we get our goalkeeper. I've actually never heard of this guy, but this seems like a natural progression. I'm just going to go out and assume that he came from the Brazilian league. He's stopped over in the Saudi league to get his payday, but now he's ready to come to European football. But we are going to make the signing of Bento, 26-year-old goalkeeper, 81 overall, ready for him to enter the prime of his career. We pick him up from Al Nassr for £28 million. And we've also sold Kem Campbell here. He's heading off to Turkey. Didn't fit my formation, doesn't have an insane amount of growth yet, so I thought we'd just cut ties with him. But this is how your Wolverhampton Wanderers look heading into season number 2. Again, keeping it within that small little range of overall, but everybody's growing together, which is nice to see. I've kept a lot of money in the back pocket, so I will say there is pressure on Hwang Hee-chan and Lamina. I'm prepared to make some upgrades there. Even Bueno and Totti probably going to fight it out for that starting centre-back role. So watch this space. It's all going to depend on how we start season 2. No longer worried about surviving relegation. I want to start pushing for some European football here in the next few years. But lads, if you are enjoying today's video and you aren't already subscribed, make sure you go and scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. Pumping out the FC25 content. So I appreciate all you guys who are watching it as well. This is beautiful to see. This is absolutely beautiful to see. We currently sit 5th in the Premier League here halfway through season 2. 1 point out of the top 4. And we're building a nice buffer. It's not a huge buffer, but it's an 8-point buffer between us and 8th place Newcastle. Of course, Champions League in Season 3 would be extraordinary, probably way ahead of the progress we expected, but I want some sort of football in Europe, whether it's Europa League, Conference League, Champions League. I'm not necessarily too biased, but I just want some of it. A lot of good teams having bad starts to the year, so I'm expecting them to come good. We need to keep our foot on the gas. I'm going to make a tough call, though, to sell our captain, Mario Lemina. He's doing very well, but at age 32, this is the peak of his powers right now. He's grown to an 81. We could get £14.5 million for him, and I don't think it's going to get any better than this. I think we should get ourselves an upgraded defensive midfielder to sit alongside João Gomes in the midfield there. It's a tough one. I like Lamina as a Fulham fan. I've seen how good he can be. He's been so solid for us, but in rebuilds, I've got to make the tough calls. And I think right now, if we want to get European football, this is the tough call we need to make. This could break team morale and ruin us for the season. This one hurts, man. This is the tough call, like I said, but we've made the deal happen. Mario Lamina heads to Bournemouth for 14.5 mil. And immediately we hit the ground running, get ourselves our new defensive midfielder in, getting an English player into the squad. Not too many in this squad, so I wanted to rectify that. Adam Wharton wasn't getting consistent game time at Crystal Palace, so we're going to get him into Wolverhampton for 30 mil. We are starting to build a really nice side here at the Molineux. Come on! Wolverhampton are heading to the Champions League in Season 3. I thought Champions League was maybe a goal to qualify for in 4, 5, 6 onwards, but we are heading to the Champions League in Season 3, and I want to start going all out to make us a contender. The goal of the rebuilds is to see how fast we can win a Champions League. If we could do it with Wolves in 3 seasons, that would exceed my wildest dreams. Man City go back-to-back. We finished above Arsenal, which is huge. West Ham in the top 4 with us. We finish on 70 points. That is brilliant. Tottenham down in 10th, and the relegated sides are Leeds, Sheffield United, and West Brom. So all 3 promoted sides go straight back down. Manchester United win the FA Cup. We had a stinker and went out in the 3rd round against Southampton. Man City won the Carabao Cup. We lost to Plymouth Argyle in the round of 16. Come on, lads. Bayern Munich stop Real Madrid going back-to-back. Galatasaray win the Europa League. And Shakhtar Donetsk win the Conference League. Hwang Hee-chan, that is actually incredible. It's a tough one because he's clearly putting up numbers. And if we started this rebuild and he was 23, 24 years of age, I would say this guy's going to get dynamic player potential into him and become one of the world's best strikers. He is putting up insane numbers, but I'm probably going to have to upgrade next year anyways because he is the next upgradable piece. 22 goals this year. Hugo Ekitike, I'm not too stoked about there. Only 8 goals, but hopefully he can pick it up next year. Cunha gets himself to an 84 overall. Wharton, solid first half of the season at the Molineux as well. The growth of Bento this season is insane. This is my first time using this guy in a rebuild. He's 85 overall now as a goalkeeper. Loretz, who's coming back next season, 75 overall, so he's turning into a quality backup option. Eric Garcia, 82 overall. Bueno's 81, so maybe I go for an upgrade there next year. We're going to have some questions on what we do with the squad, but right now, I'm really happy with the direction we are heading. We are saying goodbye, though, to 3 guys as we end season number 2. Marvin Caleta, I'm letting go on a free. And then Pablo Sarabia and Matt Doherty, they're both retiring from professional football. I cannot believe it, though. Champions League bound in season 3. Bring it on. That Champions League money just hits different, fellas. That has sped up our progress significantly. Let's make it count this year. I've made the tough call. It's time to go for an upgraded striker. Nicholas Jackson is the man I am bringing in. 84 rated. He's ready to get the Champions League by storm. I want us in a position to go on a run this year in the Champions League. I don't know if we necessarily have the team to win it, but I would love to get some invaluable experience, and I think Jackson's going to help us bang in the goals long term. The Senegalese striker signs from Chelsea for 53 mil. And on the very next day, we continue the trend of Portuguese players. We add another Portuguese defender to the squad, picking up 83 rated Gonçalo Inácio from Sevilla. Sorry, I think it was Athletic Bilbao. Yeah, Athletic Bilbao, 42 mil. I want to clean out a lot of the dead young prospects we have in the squad, the ones that aren't living up to potential. Dexter Limbakiasa, he's a Jamaican defender heading to Saudi Arabia. And Luke Cundle, staying in England but heading down to the Championship to Middlesbrough. Pedro Lima off on another loan to Sevilla. Some people aren't going to be happy. I wanted to keep Hwang Hee-chan as a backup striker. He didn't want to take a lower contract, which is fair. He has scored 20 goals in 2 seasons or whatever. So I'm going to sell him permanently, cash in. I don't want Jackson losing game time. So we have sold Hwang Hee-chan for 26 mil to West Ham. I am about to make a signing based purely on squad depth. Leeds United relegated down to the championship. We need a backup attacking midfielder if anything happens to Cunha or Enzo Malo. Enter the American Brendan Aronson. And Aronson joins us for £17.5 million from Leeds. Also saying goodbye to the Zimbabwean winger Tawanda Shirera, who heads down to Plymouth Argyle. I'm sure Pieface will be a happy man. So I focused on quality over quantity this window, and our squad, we genuinely could be in with it. Like our attack, we could be in with a crack this year. A lot of the young guys still need some growth. Big year for Ryan Ait-Nouri. He's probably the next logical step to upgrade. But our starting 11 is coming along brilliantly here, fellas. Jackson and Inacio bumping things up quite nicely. And where I like, we've got our bench and our depth coming along nicely as well. Good reserves. We'll get our Swiss goalkeeper back in January, so he'll overtake Bentley as the backup goalkeeper. Yersin Mosquera in the backup. We've got enough centre backs in terms of depth there. We're progressing nicely, but let's go see who we're facing in the league phase of the Champions League. Oh God. First game is against Juventus. That is a baptism of fire. Olympiacos, Atletico Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt, Ekatike against his former side, Dynamo Kiev, Lyon. This is not an easy league phase. And then we end the league phase off with a matchup against Lazio and Real Madrid. Oh, we have been given one of the toughest draws, which I guess you come to expect when you qualify fourth in England, but we're going to have to be near perfect if we want to get ourselves into the next round. So we need to be making sure that we are getting ourselves back into the Champions League via the Premier League as well, because it is going to take an uphill battle. I mean, we are quite literally the lowest ranked team, 36 in the table. It's not on alphabetical order. I believe it is on qualification rankings. So we were the lowest ranked team, meaning we're going to get the toughest draw. So we're here on the 1st of January. The Champions League is still not confirmed. 2 games to go in January, but in the Premier League, we sit in 6th position, 2 points outside of the top 4. We're only 3 points off the league title. Anything can happen here in this second half of the season. Nicholas Jackson, though, with a strain on his glute. He's out for 6 weeks, which is a pain. Fabio Silva's going to need to step up for these remaining 2 group stage Champions League games. We did just win Manager of the Month in the Premier League, though. That is a good omen. I'm going to make a tough call here in January, though. He's not progressing the way I want him to. And I think we need to make an upgrade at the left back role, which is why we say goodbye to Ryan Ait-Nouri, who heads to Manchester City for £27 million. And honestly, fellas, I sold us a little short selling Ait-Nouri. To get a significant upgrade, we have to move somebody else on, so I'm going to sell Totti, the Portuguese centre-half, heading to Brighton for 14 mil. And that has allowed us, I'm glad I got as much as I did. We only have £1 million left in the bank now, but we get ourselves a star left back. Miguel Gutierrez, 85 overall. This is massive. This is the upgrade we needed. We pick him up from Valencia. He comes from Spain to England for 53 mil. But will he be enough to help us get out of the league phase? But most importantly, make sure we qualify again next year. But it wouldn't have mattered anyways. We have only got 1 win in the league phase of the Champions League. We finished 25th. It was surprising that we were here to begin with, and we just haven't been able to step up. So many draws, 7 points. I don't even think that's going to get us into a Europa League playoff. So now we just got to focus all of our attention on the Premier League, get back into the top 4, and maybe even push for a Premier League title. Let's see how we finish up Season 3. We miss out on winning the Premier League by 2 points. Oh, we were in the mix, man. In the mix. I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad we finished in the top 4. I'm glad we're heading back to the Champions League, but it would have been insane for us to win a Premier League title here. It would have been more money in the budget next year, hopefully a better draw, but we have finished better than we did last year, above 4th. Who got relegated here in the Premier League? Spurs having another stinker of a season, but it is Ipswich going straight back down. Ipswich, Everton, and Southampton. Chelsea win the FA Cup. I know for a fact that we lost in the semi-final to Liverpool, and Liverpool won the Carabao. We have not done well there, losing in the round of 16 to Man City. Real Madrid win the Champions League. It would have been nice if we made it into the playoffs of one of these tournaments, but we weren't able to. Benfica win the Europa League, and the Conference League goes to Wolfsburg. Hugo Ekatike, after a stinker of a first season, has stepped up here at Wolverhampton Wolverhampton bags himself 34 goals in all contributions. Milo bags himself 28 goal contributions, and then that's 19 or 21. I failed basic math in high school. Now it's Matthias Cunha, 86 overall. Not a great first year for Nicholas Jackson though. And whilst I'm sad that we went out in the fashion we did in the Champions League, that has helped us progress regardless because we get the experience, we get the more money to get the upgrades of Jackson and co. And I think that has sped up our process significantly. Two players that will not be here for the remainder of the process though, Daniel Bentley and Tom King, two of our backup goalkeepers, are going to be walking on frees. Last year, it was a pipe dream to try winning a Champions League. This year, I think we are genuine contenders, which is why we are making the huge signing of Kasunu for our back line. The defender from the Ivory Coast is going to join us from Liverpool. So not only do we strengthen our side, we strengthen a domestic and European opponent. And we take him from Liverpool for £66.6 million. We're going to sell the striker Leon here to Sivasspor, £300,000. Also selling Bastian and Mapiu to the Saudi League. But the big player departure comes to the backline. Santiago Bueno out of the club. I want to finance a defensive midfield signing who will be the highest rated player in our squad. To do that, we need a little more money, which is why Santiago Bueno leaves. We have sold the Uruguayan to Sevilla for 32 mil. And in response, we make our highest rated signing, 87 rated Sandro Tonali. He had 1 year remaining on his contract at Newcastle, and he is sick of finishing outside of the top 4 with Newcastle, which is why he is heading south to Wolverhampton. Sandro Tonali enters the history books as my biggest signing as Wolverhampton manager, and I'm hopeful he can take us to the promised land. Sandro Tonali joins us for 60 mil on the dot. My expectations are so much higher heading into this year because our team is genuinely unbelievable. I need Santos to pick it up a little bit, but besides that, we have a starting 11 that I believe can win us a Champions League, or at least get us very close. If we don't get out of the league phase this season, though, I am going to be upset. I'm hoping we're going to have a little better of a draw this year, though, although we are 36th again. Is that just because of overall ranking for club history, like UEFA ranking? Anyways, we've got Roma to start off, which is tough. Then Atletico Madrid again. Come on, man. We're going to have to verse Juggernauts all video long. Stade Bucharest. Okay. Then we've got Napoli in November, followed by Lyon again. Real Sociedad in December. And then we finish it off with Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. If we can actually get into the playoff round or into the automatic round of 16, then I genuinely believe we can go the whole way because we have one game where I feel like we can guarantee a win. The rest of them are going to come down to how we play on the day. Oh my God. All right, let's see how we go. 1st of January. I mean, we're only 3 points out of the top 4, but it's the metrics of it. It's the optics of it. We sit 8th in the Premier League with 33 points. 10 points off Arsenal, who are currently on an invincible season. The top 3 teams are just a different level at the moment. We're not too far off them, but we're going to have to get our act together. I genuinely think we can go for a Premier League title this year. But we have finished in the top 8 of the Champions League. We come 7th here. 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, meaning we skip the playoffs and we are straight into the round of 16. Not sure who we're facing yet, but it's going to be one of these. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the playoffs. Man City, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool are all in the playoffs, and AC Milan. Oh God, I hope we get like finaled or something. We are going to be facing Real Sociedad. We versed them in the group stages in league phase, and we beat them, which gives me confidence here. But this is a very strong round of 16. Let's just take it one game at a time. Our first time in the knockout rounds after getting eliminated in league phase last year. Real Sociedad, here we go. Big expectations coming in here. First leg away in Spain. This team is looking unbelievable. So many players that are 87 rated. Can they step up though? Yes, they do. Cunha misses a penalty, which could have made it 3-0. But we are heading back to Wolverhampton with a massive 2-0 lead over Real Sociedad. Leg number 2. At the Molineux, we've set ourselves up for success. Finish the job and do it with no repercussions. Come on, 3-0 in the second leg. Oh my God, I actually feel great heading into the next round. 5-0 demolition against Real Sociedad. What a way to make our mark in the knockout rounds. Into the final 8, quarterfinal bound, and we have Napoli. Napoli, quarterfinals. This is massive. I'm hoping by this stage of the career mode that the Osimhen saga is over and he's been sold elsewhere, preferably to one of the sides that aren't in the quarterfinals, but we're at the Molineux for the first leg here, 4th of April, 2028 against Napoli, and we get a 3-1 win. Come on. Ekitike with a brace, Cunha with a goal, 3-1 up. Artigula misses a penalty, 3-1 up as we head to Naples. We are in an awesome position. But both Sandro Tonali and Gonzalo Inacio are going to be suspended for the second leg. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Alright, that's not a great way to defend the lead. So I've gone from feeling pretty confident about this to slightly nervous. Luckily, Eric Garcia and João Gomes are very good players to come in there. Not bad backup options to have. Just hold on, fellas. No injuries, no suspensions, and get ourselves through to the semi-finals here in Season 4. We do it. We get a lot of yellow cards, though. Oh my god. 3 yellow cards. We win 2-1. But I'm hoping we don't... I'm assuming that Eric Garcia is not going to get suspended. But Cunha and Milo, both of our center attacking midfielders, please, lads. Please. Cunha's been suspended. Milo looks like he's sweet, though. Cunha out for the first leg of the semis. And we've got Barcelona. You can't expect anything easy here, but we've got Barcelona in the semi-finals. Cunha suspended at the worst time imaginable. So Brendan Aronson, pressure's on you, my man. The American comes into the starting 11 for the first leg of the semi-finals. We're at the Molineux. Barcelona coming into our backyard, and Barcelona leave, getting their absolute ass handed to them. Brendan Aronson steps up, gets the 3rd goal. We are humming in these knockout rounds. 3-1 up as we head to the Camp Nou. Come on. I will say, these knockout rounds have exceeded all of my expectations. We are flying. We are 3-1 up and in a prime position to get ourselves into a Champions League final in Season 4. Cunha back into the starting 11. Away at the Camp Nou. Can we do the job? We do, but we get 2 more yellow cards. Oh my god. 5-2. We have flogged them on aggregate. But Nicholas Jackson and Inacio both with yellow cards. Please no suspensions. We're into a Champions League final. Alright, nobody suspended. Thank the Lord for that. This strikes me into fear whenever I see this club's name. No more Mbappe, but we are versing PSG in the Season 4 Champions League final. Wolverhampton versus Paris Saint-Germain. Are we going to get the job done? Taking a look around the grounds, another English club getting European silverware. Arsenal winning the Europa. Oh, if Manchester United won the Conference League, I was about to say that all the omens are on our side. Oh, we weren't able to make a charge into the top 4. 6th in the Premier League with Wolverhampton. That is actually a stinker. Only 6 points off of 3rd, and Liverpool end up winning the Premier League title. Man United down in 8th. Relegation zone sees Leicester, Hull, and Leeds. Man City win the FA Cup. We go out to Man City on penalties. That stings. And Chelsea win the Carabao Cup. We went out to Nottingham Forest in the 3rd round. So this truly has been a stinker of a season. We put all of our attention, it seems, into the Champions League, and that puts so much more pressure on us to actually step up and win it today. Cunha gets himself 36 goal contributions, but the scary proposition is, lads, if we don't win the Champions League tonight, we won't be eligible again until season number 6. We need to focus up, we need to lock in and get the job done with Wolves. Wayne Rooney Bahagi is going to force a save there out of Bento. Ekitike putting that one through. Jackson scores. Come on. What a start to the Champions League final. Nicholas Jackson is going to give Wolverhampton the lead. Santos. Screw it. Thiago Santos forces a good save out of Donnarumma. Oh no. Rooney, he's been the best option for PSG. Thankfully, that was a pretty tame shot. Come on. Jackson, I want to get a second goal. Jackson could put it to the bed right now. Oh, that's a shit finish, Jared. I was in 2 minds as to whether I go near post or cross it across, and I did nothing really. Need a good delivery here from Sandro Tonali. I want a second goal to get ourselves a bit of breathing space. We muscle our way through. But Donnarumma makes a save. It does not matter though, fellas, because we close this one out. A terrific run in the Champions League, despite all of our shortcomings in the Premier League. and we get the job done with Wolverhampton. They may be bottom of the Premier League in real life, but in this alternate reality, Wolverhampton, led by King Cunha, are going to officially be crowned, ladies and gentlemen, as European champions. Come on. Lads, if you enjoyed today's rebuild with Wolverhampton, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to check out another video.